Ladies and gentlemen, pleasure to have you. Spencer Lazara, Jay Hieron, Triple OG in the house, man. It's good to have you on. Recently had Equalizer 2 in theaters. You can go check him out. Had a nice fight scene with Denzel. We are brought to you by Eureka Vapors, MMA Interviews, Fiend Podcast number 4. Let's get it going, man. Obviously had some sparring today. I think we're both a little bit tired after that. But you're in there regularly, man. Do you ever, and obviously always killing it, do you ever get that itch? Like, man, I gotta fight again.
Itch, nah. I get the itch to go train. If I get the itch, I want to fight. I just go in there and it humbles me.
Yeah, right. I mean, you're still in there being top dog pretty much in there. And it's every time I shoot, it's always good work. So technical.
It's fun. It's fun. I love it. I didn't, for me, I didn't just get into fighting for the glitz and glamour of it, the money, just to sit. I got into it because I love competition. I loved it. Back then, I got into it back in the day. So back then, there wasn't, I didn't even know I could make money and make a living off of it. It was just, I loved it. Wanted to learn different arts, kickboxing, boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. So it was like, I can combine all these arts. This is cool. Judo, and that's what was fun. That's what appealed to me.
When did you get your first start kind of in that stuff, though? When was your first, did you wrestle? That was the first thing you did?
I came up wrestling. Well, I started boxing actually at first because I was a skinny kid and, getting picked on. I just posted a picture today. Everybody was laughing. A throwback with a bird chest I had. But, I was a kid. I grew up in a little rough neighborhood, and, I was a skinny punk kid and getting chased, getting my sneakers taken and all that. And I didn't have any older brothers and all that, so I had to, learn how to fight. My sister still laugh at me till this day. Say, I remember when you were running home from school and now you're a badass fighter. So, how times have changed.
But did you wrestle in high school?
Yeah, so what happened was, long story short, I was about 12, 13 in junior high school. And then that's when I went to a boxing gym with one of my sister's boyfriend at the time. He brought me.
You still friends with him?
I seen him actually recently. Yeah, he followed my career. He's a cool guy. But anyway, but I don't know what happened. I couldn't end up going to the boxing gym. It was far away from me. It was a couple towns over. And I was going into the high school, and I was like, I got to learn, I got to keep training or learn something. Boxing was out of the question because it was too far away. I found that they had wrestling. So I was like, okay, I'm going to learn how to wrestle so I could, defend myself. That's a way to defend myself. Perfect. If somebody grabs me or, trying to take my stuff, I could slam them or get them away from me, get them off me, something. So that's what I did. I joined wrestling 2 months in. That was it. Made me a man.
Hooked.
Hooked. Got hooked on the competition. But, first I had the mind frame of let me learn this art to defend myself. But then I fell in love with the competition.
Did you play other sports too or no in high school?
Wrestling.
It was just wrestling.
Wrestling.
So you get out of high school. And then
out
what?
of high school, went to college, went straight to Iowa. Right out of college, my high school coach wanted me out of New York because I was getting in trouble. I was, the punk kid, but I turned, now I know how to. I turned into a man, and no more,
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
Not nice guy, but I started getting in some problems.
Speak up for yourself.
Smoking a little weed, and found out I like girls. You know what I mean? Not found out I like girls, but girls started liking me, actually. So, I got a car. So, I started getting in problems. And then from there, my coach was like, Jimmy. He called me Jimmy. He's like, yo, Jimmy, you got to get out of here. You got to get out of New York. So he sent me to Iowa. Not sent me. It was, it was my decision. I was a man.
To wrestle?
Yeah, to wrestle. I went to Iowa Central.
Which is where
Fort
John
Dodge,
went, right?
Iowa.
Is that where Jones went too? Iowa
I
Central?
don't know.
No.
Maybe. Did he?
I'll look. Keep going.
But I went to Iowa Central, and it was just like, man, I'm a kid from New York, and I'm in Iowa, so it didn't really go well. Well, the wrestling room was good. I was, killing it in the wrestling room. Just, outside of that, I just had nothing in common really with anybody, and, so
You sure did. Him and Colby Covington, Iowa Central.
Oh, okay, cool. So, I went back to New York. I went to Nassau Community College. I finished up there. I took third in the nation my first year there, and then I won it my second year there.
Sick.
So yeah, and then I went to Hofstra University from there.
Transferred.
Got recruited, transferred, scholarship, and did real good. And then I was ranked third my last year wrestling, going in D1, and I got popped for smoking weed. Yeah.
Hey, nowadays
so
it'd be
good.
like, it's okay, whatever.
But it was a school test. It wasn't even the NCAA's at the time. The school had a new test, like, hey, if you get popped for anything, you know, your eligibility on competing is done for the season. So it was my last year wrestling. I'm like, oh man, really? Like, and I was trying hard to get back in, because I know when I would, stumble in something in my life and I could get back another chance, I would do my thing. I knew I could have won it that year, because I would have shaped up and did everything I had to, grades, and just focused and trained hard. But it didn't happen that way. And, took some time off. And me and Baroni went to high school together. Not to same high school, different high school, but we were always
Close
cool.
by.
Both knuckleheads.
How'd you meet?
He was in Massapequa High School. I was in Freeport. We were, if you win the county tournament in Nassau, which is very hard, then you form the Nassau County team. Then you represent Nassau up in the States in New York. So we would always win his weight, I would win my weight. So we'd be on a team together in high school. Then we went to Nassau together on that team, and then Hofstra together. So, we were around each other a while. And he was fighting at the time, and he told me, he wanted me to come out and help. I think it was the second Linland fight. He wanted me to come out and help him train.
Already in Vegas?
Yeah, he was in Vegas already, and he flew me out to help him train, and that's when it kind of exposed me to MMA. I really didn't pay attention to it much before that. I think I watched a fight where Robbie Lawler knocked out Tiki.
Okay.
Right before that, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is all right, But I don't want to get hit in the face or nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At the time, I was like driving a Mercedes and making money, doing dumb things, making money. And I had no, ambition to fight at the time. And so I went out to help him, and then that kind of exposed me to it. And, unfortunate again, another smack in my face. I got arrested for doing dumb things. And long story short, that's when the whole, just started thinking about my life, and let me gotta change some things. Yeah. And that's when I went back to New York, which me and Phil he would train in New York as well at the time, Belmore Kickboxing Academy. That's where I started at. So I would go back to the gym, and then the trainer there, which was my first MMA trainer, Keith Trimble, great guy, still there, has a bunch of UFC guys, bunch of New York guys from Long Island, one of the best gyms out there. So he took me under the wing, and that was it. I would just train every day, man. They had a couch in the back with tapes, old K1, Pride, and UFC. I would just study, watch tape, come back out, try something new. You know what I mean? It was crazy. It was fun back then, because I was just such a sponge.
And then your first fight, you decide to fight, obviously.
Yeah, after, a few months, I started getting better and better and better, and just, started focusing, detoxing, getting all the weed and that liquor out of me. And just straight up like, all right, I think I'm ready to take it serious. And Keith trained me for a few months, and then got my first fight, did my thing, and a couple more fights, and that's when I got the call for UFC.
Yeah, when IFL was kind of where things were going though early. I remember you fought IFL, right?
Yeah, that was a few years. I moved to Vegas, and then Randy, actually, we were all training at the UFC gym. Few guys, all the guys that were good in town, we would get together. So many names: Forrest, Mike Pyle, Gray, Tyson, Griffin.
Campman came in.
Man, so many guys, dude.
I remember.
Yeah.
First day I would come in Extreme, it was like, oh shit.
Yeah, so everybody would train, and then Randy was like, hey guys, I'm thinking of opening a gym. I want you all to be a part of the team, and boom, that was it. From day one, I was like, I'm in. And then the IFL started, and then I joined up with them on Boss Rutan's team. That is actually was supposed to be Randy's team at first, but Randy had a lot
going on.
Yeah, a lot going on. He was fighting for
still.
UFC.
Yeah.
doing his acting thing. So
and then you fought Jake Ellenberger in the IFL.
For Jake,
and that's why I love these conversations about how things kind of came about, because I know from him that he hadn't really wrestled. You beat him, you wrestle him real good, you out wrestle the heck out of him. So he's like, man, I got to learn to wrestle. So he went back, started wrestling with his brother in junior college wrestling, because he realized that he couldn't just fight without knowing how to wrestle.
Yeah.
So that was just a cool old school story.
Yeah,
and
he's a tough dude too. At the time, he was undefeated with like, I think he was like 12 or 13-0 with like 12 KOs.
Yeah.
Like he was a badass. And
like, I'm not getting hit. I'm just taking this dude down.
Well, I mean, we were doing
I want to see that fight. Is there footage?
I have no idea.
To find it somewhere. I remember watching those days, and Roy, I remember especially because he was rubbing his belly already back then in IFL even, and I was like, this guy, and Rothwell was in there, and the big
Rothwell
boys.
Was tough, Rothwell. A lot of dudes were in IFL.
That was fun stuff.
Yeah, it's good.
So then you get the
times.
UFC
it was
call.
on salary. It was good times, man. That's the first time actually in fighting where I was like, oh man, pay my bills.
Yeah.
It was everything started kicking in. The salary was great. I bought my first house. It was like. It was security kind of thing, because we were getting that salary a month, and then of course we would get our purses when we would fight, and we would fight a lot because it was like tournaments and team.
Kind of like
team.
the PFL is now, except there were teams.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which is great.
Yeah, it was cool, man.
Big payday at the end,
So obviously you've had a great fight career throughout that, and we all know that stuff in the UFC. Fought the best of the best, Woodley, GSP, you name it. The Ben Askren fight, very memorable stuff that I thought you won.
Yeah.
I mean, what was the choice to retire? I know you had started already setting the ball, kind of going for acting and all that stuff. Was that kind of the reason for like, you know what? Because I know you can still compete right now.
Yeah.
Put him in.
I was content, at the, I made a run. I got 30 fights, and every fight I prepared my ass off for. I fought till the end. I trained hard for every fight, win or lose, but I never gave up, so my last few fights, I kind of signed a shit deal, my last fight, just because they knew they had me by the balls, I wanted to be there so bad, and in my career with UFC, and they knew that. There was times before that I could have went and signed with them for way more money, but this time around it was just, the timing wise, they knew it, and I signed the shit deal. You got to gamble on yourself as a fighter. The most importantly, you got to believe. And I said, you know what, I'm going to do these 3 fights, and I'm going to put myself in a position to fight for a title, because that's what it's about, at the end of the day. I didn't get into the game for that, but when you get in and, you want to be the best, when you train so hard, and you got to be confident. So I was like, cool, I'll sign this deal, and it didn't go that way. But moving forward after my last fight, which was Woodley, just sat down, and I'm like, it doesn't make sense, money wise, and the fire wasn't burning as it was, as much as it was, and I had other things going on. I got into the film business around 06-ish, which, trained with Randy Couture. Randy was acting at the time. He introduced me to people, connecting dots, and, it kind of like, I wasn't pursuing it, kind of say, but I was interested after doing a few things, and I got more into it, and I started learning, because it's not natural for me to be an actor, or even fighting on camera wasn't, it was something I had to learn, and give guys that do this a lot of props, because there's a lot behind the scenes that goes into it. But so yeah, I had that. I didn't, I wasn't like, oh, after my last fight, I'm gonna make a career out of this. It was kind of like another, leap of faith, like fighting. I mean, anybody that says, oh, I'm gonna make a long career out of fighting is, it's crazy to say that. You know what I mean? Because it's so many, you never know what happens.
And you have to have more income post-fighting career.
Exactly.
So
well,
that's why we've always talked about this, and talked about what's going on with you, because I'm always love hearing that stuff. I love to see guys like you succeed after fighting and make a real career for themselves after that, because it's tough. And we see guys, like that don't have enough going for them, and it's frustrating, and because the pay should obviously have been more in the fighting as well. So it's like,
I mean, that was a part of the decision too, money wise. Because again, when I say looking back on my whole career, when I made the decision, I was content because I did make money though. There was years I did make money. I made money with Strikeforce, Affliction, Bellator. I won the tournament, so I did make money. I mean, again, I was
you
foolish.
started getting smart with it, though,
Yeah,
after a few mistakes, like we just said.
I made a lot of mistakes. I'm not going to sit here and lecture anybody about the right moves to make because, I made a lot of mistakes. I won a fight and went right to the dealership and bought a Mercedes off the lot, or watches and Rolexes and the tables and bottles. I did all that stuff. So, you live and you learn.
Yeah.
Because, you think it's going to come like that all the time. Like, oh, I just made a big payday, $150, $250, $1,000 in your bank. It looks real nice. And you think that, I'll just spend this and that. And my next fight, I'll get it back. It's people don't understand that the IRS comes and they want their money ASAP. If you don't got it, okay.
You owe more now.
Yeah, you owe more now. And it goes up and up and up. So I dealt with that, too. I dealt with an audit and all that stuff. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm better now, but I'm trying to be frugal.
Have you ever thought about trying? Are you in certain guys' ears, kind of trying to help them not make some of those mistakes and be a little smarter now? Or who are the guys at all that you kind of talk to more and mentor, so to speak?
Anybody that's in the team and wants to ask me anything, I give them. More what I could give somebody is what I went through and what I did to change my situation and what I did to, further my career in the film business I'm in now. I mean, I don't think I'm in any position to tell somebody what to do and what not to do. You know what I mean? Because I made my mistakes. All through life.
But just to say that, right? It's like, look, think about the future. Think about later. Like, just plant those seeds with people.
I mean, I tell my story.
Buy property.
Yeah, I tell what I've done. I tell my story, but I'm not going to say, oh, don't do this, don't do that, know? Because honestly, seriously, some people have to learn only from going through things.
Totally.
You see what I'm saying? Because I was talking to Ray earlier. It's this thing. People don't have an outlet. Like, they should have, more people should do martial arts. You know what I mean? Just to not go out in the world and do crazy stuff, crazy shit, you know what I mean? Shooting up shit or beating people up on the street. Go hit the bag or something.
Yep.
So, again, some people have to, some kids have to fall down to get back up, So I don't want to say don't do this, don't do that. Some people have to buy something to know, shit, I can't do that again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let me be
you
more
have to
frugal.
Waste, everybody has to waste some money.
Yeah.
In order to learn how to manage it a little bit. Like, hopefully you learn that early on, kind of like you do on other life lessons you got to learn early on, and get out of it unscathed.
Kind of like, a kid that's sheltered his whole life or a kid that's like maybe a trust fund kid, and then they know in the back of their mind they don't have no worries, so they fuck off their whole life. Mm-hmm. And then when the shit hits the fan, they don't know how to deal with it.
Or you come from nothing and you hit it big, and then you still don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah. I mean, there's two, there's a flip side to every coin. But, again, for me, I could give anybody that's around me my story, and I feel that helps more than me telling them what they, should not do.
It's great always having you in the gym, man. I mean, the energy's always there. Having you and Ray in there and legends like that is just, it's awesome. It's such a great energy for the most part.
Yeah.
In the gym, it's a great energy in there.
It's a fight gym, Sometimes it goes sideways, but yeah, it's a great gym. I love being in it. I make it a point to get in there when I'm in town.
One thing I'll notice, back when I did first come in, I came in, I started filming, and Forrest gets a bloody nose. He comes over, move. He comes over with a bloody nose, wiping his nose with his shirt, and I'm just like, oh crap, you guys used to go hard in there though. Bottom line, the sparring used to be way different than now, right?
It was crazy when
be a fight in there.
Yeah, it's a fight every day. And we used to spar every day too. It wasn't like we do it now, like twice a week sparring hard, and then more technique. No, it was all right. 4 o'clock every day is sparring, like big glove shin guards or little glove shin guards, hard. And then we would have every Vitor Belfort, Vanderlei Silva, everybody would come in there and kill. And there was no weight classes. You got me next? All right, cool. 70, 85.
There were no small guys because they weren't in the UFC yet. So they're really, everyone was 55 and up at least.
It was nutty. But, again, you learn as you go along. Train, smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
It's just a learning experience.
Yeah.
Comes from the top. Randy always said that too. He was like, train smarter, not harder, and peak for the fight. So it starts from the top.
Yeah. And then, okay, talking about the movie, man. I mean, obviously a big thing. You had a great scene here. This is kind of a breakthrough for you, having a great fight scene with Denzel. Talk us through that experience, man. Legend like that.
Yeah, great. I mean, had to fight for the role from jump. I auditioned. I did a callback. I did audition again. They liked me. I thought I had it. And for some reason, they wanted to go with somebody else. And I was like, yo, I'm the guy. I'll fly myself out to do another audition. And it really cool. The fight coordinators, the action team, they fought for me to get it because, they believed in me, which was Jeff Dashner, JD Dashner. And I ended up getting it. They ended up, I guess, gambling on me, and it all worked. All paid off.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was fun, man, working with the GOAT, man.
Yeah.
He was in character. He made my level come up because he made it real. So if you see it, I'm really in the backseat looking at him like, I'm going to kick your ass.
Yeah. Like taking an Uber ride.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And
Lyft.
Lyft.
Yeah.
They paid more.
Yeah.
So the one scene was like, you come with a knife, and he somehow,
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, right. He's going to stop Jay. Shit.
Movie magic.
Yeah. Good stuff, though, man.
Yeah, fun.
I mean, obviously the movie was a big deal. And
yeah.
do you what are your hopes, your expectations moving forward in this game?
I mean, one foot in front of the other, man. Just
keep learning, keep trucking, like a martial arts, I guess.
Audition, bring it. I'm ready. Like martial arts. I have the martial arts mind frame on this game. Just work. Keep working, keep trying to get better at, everything, acting.
What are the biggest differences for you as far as stunting goes? I mean, obviously it's totally different, like we just said, than an actual like fight. So I'm sure there's a lot that you can sort of show, but it's still, would you say you're still learning a ton more on what you need to do even though you're obviously could slap around anybody on set?
It's the total opposite of real fighting. It's the total opposite. And the biggest thing for me was that right there, just knowing that I'm fighting for camera, I'm fighting for film, rather than I'm fighting a real fight trying to really damage somebody. You understand? So once you learn that, like it's better. It's easier to transition because as a real fighter, it's a little harder. You're not, you're skeptical of everything. You're like, this doesn't work, but it's not supposed to work. It's not real. It's supposed to look good for the camera, not for you to hurt the guy in front of you. So that's one thing. And just
it's the movies.
It's a film.
Bottom line.
But a lot of work goes involved. It's a lot of different angles of the camera and just trying to sell the punches for each camera wherever the camera's set up. Just repetition. You got to have a lot of stamina. You got to have a lot of focus because it's take after take, long days, take after take. So, I respect anybody in the film business.
You've been on fire. You've jumped down from multiple stories. 60 foot?
60-foot jump. I've
God.
done a fire burn. I've done car stuff. I've done a helicopter, hanging off a helicopter downtown L.A.
Wow.
Yes. It's.
What if you fell off the helicopter? What was in place to save you?
DOA. Dead
Shut
on
up.
arrival.
Serious?
Yeah. That's the thing about this. As a stuntman, if something goes wrong, it's lights out. It's not, okay, you wake up with smelling salt, you're in the hospital getting stitches. That's the biggest difference from, fighting. You got to respect this.
It's like fighting is more full on in a weird way.
Fighting is nothing.
You're not
they're asking that too.
Life.
They're asking me like, what's harder? What's harder? I mean, fighting in front of 30,000 people with your name, your reputation on the line, the highest highs if you win, the lowest lows if you lose. You only get half your pay if you lose. It's crazy. If you win, you're on top of the world. Everybody's cheering for you. And you get hurt. Also, you could get brain damage. You could, break bones, hands, and stitches. This business, I mean, there's crazy stuff you do. And if something doesn't go right, it's bad. You know, but a lot of prep goes in behind it.
Of course.
And if there's something specific, they're gonna bring in a specialist in that area, like a jump like that. You know, a 60-footer isn't considered super high, you know, but if it's higher than that, like 100 or something, they'll bring in a specialist, you know, because a lot of stunt performers are like you know, high level athletes, like Olympic divers or, you know, race car drivers, you know, some type of sport they've been in. So, you know, they'll bring in a specialist in that field. Of course, mostly what I get is fighting. I'm a fighter, you know what I mean? And I could act. So, boom, let's call Jay. There you go.
I can't wait to hear the accent, the full, real New York I mean, you're perfect for the movies, man. You really are.
I mean, I got to tone it down sometimes, too. They don't always
certain
want
roles.
a New Yorker. But,
yeah,
yes, I mean, when I'm around New Yorkers, it comes out heavy. And, you know, I'm born and raised there, so it's there.
The deep voice, everything.
Yeah,
I mean, you're
voice.
just, I don't know. I love it, man. I think I always said it was perfect for you.
Yeah,
so.
But if I have to get it out, I'll get a dialect coach, whatever I have to do.
Sure. I mean, and that's a lot of work that you had to put in, I'm sure.
Hard. I mean, that's why I respect, like, you know, top actors when they'll take their accent out and do a different accent. It's a lot of work.
Idris Elba.
Yeah, he's great.
Something.
Yeah.
I didn't even know when I watched The Wire, you know, that this dude was British. I was like, what?
Yeah, exactly, dude. It's
wild.
Crazy. Yeah.
He played Stringer Bell. That's like one of my favorite characters ever. You know?
Yeah.
So,
great actor.
Yeah. Man, we got some fights this weekend, I guess, to go over. Let's do that real quick.
Yeah. Who's that?
UFC in Nebraska. Jake Ellenberger, who we just talked about, is fighting. His looks like his retirement fight.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah. Congrats, man. Good for him.
Yeah, he's a good guy,
man. Great career.
He is fighting Brian Barberena from the Lab. Tough dude.
Oh, really? Wow.
So we'll
Savage.
See. Yeah, he's a tough guy, man. But Jake,
what's his style? I don't know. Sorry.
He's more of a striker. He beat Sage Northcutt. I guess he's more of a stand-up pressure, just gonna fight. Okay. Tough, durable, kind of guy. So he'll probably try to wear Jake down. And, you know, I'd like to see Jake maybe get some takedowns as well as, you know, get back to that killer
one thing
mentality.
About Jake, when he's on, and sometimes
that Campman fight.
Yeah, he gets guys out of there quick.
That Campman fight was one to remember.
Yeah.
You were there with me, probably, right?
I was cornering Campman.
You were cornering him. There you go. What a fight!
Came back and
had his nose was bleeding from the inside at the presser. Wouldn't
Campman's
stop.
Off the hook.
That was such a great.
I've been in his corner so many times when I was like, oh shit, and then he turns it around and fucking comes back and knocks the guy. I'm like, what the fuck? You're fucking a beast. He's a Viking. He's a straight up Viking. He just catch punches with his chin. Yeah. There's no parrying. He's bang, 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 bang.
But
bang,
still
bang.
super technical.
Yeah.
Like you and him were some of the most technical guys still in that gym at all times.
My main sparring partner for years.
Yep.
Me and him would, oh God, we would bang. I'd leave gym having headaches. I know he would too. We missed that dude.
Yeah, he's good people, man. Hope he's doing well with his family and stuff now.
Yeah.
So Courtney Casey, Angela Hill. Let's see, Michael Johnson, Andre Feely. Interesting fight at 45.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Johnson's so good. I want to see him put it together, man. Like, he's losing to guys like Darren Elkins. I'm just scratching my head like, what's going on? But I think he should get that together. Yeah, I guess he's fighting at 45, which really is kind of good for him. I think he's a little small for 55.
Feely's tough, too, though.
With how much these guys... He's gotten better.
He's tough.
But I got to lean to MJ on that one.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
That's the co-main event, actually.
They're both tough.
And then
what's Jake's fight? Is that on the main card?
He's on the main card.
That's cool.
It looks like I guess is this a Fox? FS1. But it shows 6 fights on the main card, which typically I didn't know they had 6. But and then Gagey and Vic, of course, is the main event. Gagey's been training with us a good amount.
Yeah.
Looking good, but the guy just...
I hope he gets
paid.
Did
you spar with him at all?
Yeah. He's a tough kid.
He's always coming forward, man.
Always coming forward. Takes hits, catches him with his face.
Yeah.
I hope he gets paid in his career, you know what I mean? Because, you know, he's going to leave it all out there. He's a dude that's going to leave it all out there every fight.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope he gets,
he's getting $50K every fight, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, which, taxes and all that. I mean, I hope he gets
$50K extra, yeah.
He should get more money than that,
Agreed.
That's a guy
everybody
that
deserves
a lot more. Everybody
at
does.
least double what they're getting, right? Pretty much. Except for maybe the elite. I can be like, okay, they're okay. Yeah. But anybody in the lower to middle tiers deserves double what they're getting, minimum.
And they should sign guys for more money. The scale should be triple higher than it is. I don't know what it is.
What do you think about, Randy? Of course, you're a good friend, and he's someone fighting for the fighters union. Do you agree with him on that?
Sure. Why not? I mean, the fighters need a union. The NFL has a union.
Yep.
If they didn't have a union, they'd be getting fucked. Yep. So
They're
they have
getting
retirement
50%
pay. I mean,
of the money.
Listen. At the end of the day, you could leave 10 years of your life in fighting, and just have fights and go out on your shield every time, and have nothing to show for it after.
Yeah.
Who's gonna remember you? No, fans won't. They're gonna be, rooting for the new guys fighting. It's short-term memory. So, you should definitely have a union. I really believe us
at least
fighters,
band together to get something more.
Yeah, us as fighters, you leave a little piece of yourself in there every time you get in there,
No
man.
doubt.
If you're on this level and you go in there, you leave a little piece of yourself in there every time. It's like the Mike Tyson punch-out game. That little power trip, that power level goes down, down, and it's a reason why you gotta love the game too, because it shows you when you're on top. It shows when you're old. Overnight, guys like that were just world champions. The next time out, they're just like, damn, what happened? Mm-hmm. It's just an unforgiving sport.
Totally unforgiving.
It's just
Perfect
so
word
real.
for it.
It's so real. It's just like
raw.
Shows you when you're a beast. It shows you when you're past your prime.
Yeah. And sometimes you could be perfect and still lose.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is the craziest about the fight game sometimes is that LeBron James comes off the couch, gets in there. I guarantee you, just like Jordan did, he'd be the best player.
Mm-hmm.
He'd still be the best.
Mm-hmm.
You do that in fighting, good luck, right?
Yeah.
Also, a basketball game is, throughout an entire game, you're up 20 points. Mm-hmm. There's no knockout blow. There's no 30-point shot to bring you back.
Yeah.
It's like, but fighting, you could be losing the whole damn time. And stamina comes in so much, and next thing you know, you get a finish. Yeah,
or just that punch on the chin, and it's curtains. It's crazy.
That's the biggest difference, I think, from any other major sport, is the fact that anything can happen.
Yeah, and that's why people love it. That's why we love it. That's why I joined it, because it's one man versus one man.
What would your parents say when you first started? What were your parents saying?
My mother, because I wrestled, and I was on the top level of wrestling, and they saw, how good I did. And my mother, she was always confident. Even in my early days of my fighting, she would call her the night before, "Oh, you're going to squash him like a tomato." When your mom says that, it's like, all right, I'm good. You know what I mean? It's that my mom was never scared or crying or, I don't want you to do this. She was over there, yeah, go kick his ass. It was crazy. My mom, she's a G.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Good times.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, these fights will be good. I mean, who do you think will take that one? And you think Gagey can get this one? Vic's a big weight.
I see Gagey fight. I honestly I haven't
seen
Vic.
Real tall.
Vic.
Real tall. Real
I think
tall.
I heard he's like a boxer, right, or ex-boxer or something.
Yeah, he's He has good boxing, good knees, good kicks, so
New
he
Mexico,
can catch
right?
guys coming
train
in.
Texas.
Texas.
Okay.
So I think Gagey should.
I like
go
Gagey,
for takedowns.
man. He trains at the gym. Hopefully, and he he's the type. He's like a Gotti, man. He comes forward.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying?
He can wrestle.
You're gonna like his fight no matter what. If win or lose, you're gonna be sitting there enjoying his fight. So that's what he's a fan fighter. But that's what I said. I mean, looking outside now, I'm retired. I'm like, bro, I hope for you. I hope he gets some money. You know what I mean? Because he deserves it. Because that's his style.
Yeah.
He's not going to fight another way. He's going to go out there, and he's going to get hit, going to hit you back, and he's going to get hit, and he's going to hit you back. Yeah. And I hope when
he's going to outwill you.
Yeah. And I hope, you know what I mean? I hope he gets paid. Yeah. I hope he does get paid, because that type of fighter, you should get paid.
I think he needs to wrestle. I think he needs to get some takedowns in this fight and go back to that base, because he is a wrestler at his base. Yeah. And he strikes a lot with guys. But this is a guy potentially I think he can take down.
Yeah, but let's see if he gonna get jabbed or something. And be
we know he's gonna strike some, right? I'm just saying, mix it up. I know you're gonna punch and kick and get hit. I know it.
He'll
but
sit right in the
throw
pocket.
Him on his head a little bit.
Let's go.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, love it.
Cool, man. And then we were talking earlier about Conor and Khabib. You asked me what I thought, so and I got to lean slightly to Khabib, maybe a 52%, but it's a toss-up. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the same thing. I think Conor got 2 rounds first 2 rounds. If he doesn't clip him, Khabib's gonna keep. He's not gonna change his style. He's coming trying to take you down and outwill you on the ground and be all over you, side mount, elbows, punching you in the face. You're moving around, giving up your back. He's punching you under your arm, over your arm. You know what I mean? He's just making it real difficult for you to even breathe. You know what I mean? So I think that style of fight isn't good for Conor, just because I think he needs more of a striker to, because we've seen his cardio hasn't been the best in later rounds as well. So if he starts,
and we haven't seen someone who's constantly trying to grapple
exactly,
either. He's constantly defending that.
But he does have the knockout power, so I mean he can catch him for sure.
For sure.
So I mean, but I feel the same way you do. I'm leaning a little towards Khabib.
Yeah, be a great fight. Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Be good.
Who are guys that, I mean, we've gone over a few of the guys like who have influenced you a lot, like Randy, Phil Baroni, some of these guys. But who are guys maybe that you didn't necessarily train with a ton, but that maybe you really loved to watch fight, really tried to maybe mimic, things like that?
Yeah. You know what is crazy? I've got to train and be friends with and best friends with and brothers with all the guys I liked coming up with training. Ray Sefo, one of my brothers, man. I've watched him before he fought, before I met him, and I watched him, and I've got to watch him live before I met him, and then we got to meet, and we started training together. He's like my big brother. He became my trainer.
Yep.
And he's family. Randy Couture. I mean,
Ray's a great guy.
I watched him, when I first early on got into the film fighting, and I was like, he's a wrestler. I like, because I'm a wrestler, and I watch his style and his dirty boxing, and then I became part of his team. So I mean, that's crazy. And then I've trained with great, you know what I mean? All Forrest, Vanderlei Silva, Vitor Belfort. I mean, everybody I train with, I've got to be, hands-on in the corner. Martin Kampman, great fights. Randy Couture versus Tim Sylvia. I was in the corner for that.
What a fight.
Yeah, what a fight. Nobody gave him a shot.
Yep.
So, I mean, I've got to train with all the guys that inspired me coming in the business and just being around the guys that I was coming up with and seeing how they progressed and, so I was blessed.
What are the biggest changes you'd like to see in the sport? Obviously, we went over fighter pay a little, but other than that, anything? Fighter
pay for sure. I think a union will probably be good because, some set up for guys after fighting. I know they say guys should worry about themselves, but there should be some type. They make so much money, dude. You know what I mean? Come on, these organizations.
They just came out and said its valuation $7 billion now after the $4.5.
Okay, you guys are worth $7 billion. Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah, come on.
And he brags about it, but then it's like fighters don't get more. I'm just scratching my head like
it's crazy, man.
So you want to go brag about how much it's worth now, but
yeah, dudes aren't getting shit.
The homie can't pay his phone bill because he got injured.
Yeah,
hasn't fought for 7
that's
months.
one thing that when I started, dude, for years there was no. If you got hurt in training, you were on your own.
Yeah.
Like now, if you're with an organization and you get hurt in training, they take care of it. But when I was training, I've seen guys training next to me pop a ACL, no insurance, crying,
fought anyway,
screaming like when it just happened, and then saying I don't got no insurance on the mat. You know what I mean? Leg busted. I'm like, damn, this shit's crazy. Just real, man. I myself, man, I would get stitches, go to the hospital when I was coming up, my early fights, making no money, and I would say a different name. One number off my social, one number off my birth, because sometimes they run it back. Oh, can you run that back again? So I would have to have one number to remember that was off from my thing. Yeah. Oh, I slipped at work. I do construction. I need stitches, but I don't have my wallet because they always ask for your ID. So I had a whole system. Like when I get cut.
Wow.
Yeah. But this is early. But then thankfully when we got to Extreme Gym, we would have doctors on deck. Dr. Yee, Denny takes care of us, chiropractor, a bunch of doctors.
Sure. Roby, I go to over here.
Yeah. So they would come stitch us up and all that. I mean, thankfully, but
that's crazy. That's a
organization wasn't paying for nothing.
Those are the stories I want, Jay.
Yeah, man.
Give me some more of those stories.
I mean, it comes to me when I'm thinking. Thankfully,
you got to pull them out sometimes, right? I mean, it's hard to just pull the best stories out, but that's what we want, right? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, man, that's full on. Like going in to give fake info because I can't
Yeah.
afford it.
Yeah. Yeah, stitches plenty of times, a few times actually. Yeah, I didn't have the ACLs and all that, but I know like guys that had an ACL injury and didn't even have insurance. Just figuring out what to do after
I'm gonna
that.
fight anyway because I gotta get it fixed, and I gotta fight just so I can get this shit fixed for free.
Exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah, I know plenty of guys that go into a fight hurt to get it fixed after.
Yeah.
Because they don't. Now it's better though. Now I know that if you get hurt in training, they pay it.
Yeah.
So that's I don't understand why they didn't before, but it's good now on that note. So
definitely
that's good.
better.
Yeah.
What do you say to some of these guys like Gray? Gray's got another fight coming up. Mike Pyle just finished finally.
Yep, Mike
these
Pyle's
guys I would
retired.
still going in there, still going. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously you're rooting for those guys, and
Yeah, they train hard. They know what's up. These guys know what direction they're going in or how many they got left. I always talk to them. They feel good, and they know their time limits. It's all inner. Again, I don't say, what I mean? I can only tell people what I've been through. My last fight after, I knew I was like, time to do something else or time to make a run for the film business. I want to see if I could do it, if I could make a career out of it. I just knew that fire in me was burning out.
Yeah.
But guys, my friends, they, you know what I mean? I talked to Powell before his last one. He's like, yeah, this is it. I'm done after that. He knew that, and that's it, He sticks to it, and he's on to the next.
What was your favorite fight of your career? What was your shining moment that you could say for you, maybe?
IFL winning the world title there was great. That was a time in my life where I was like, it's worth it. What I mean? All the shit I've been through and hard training and, I was the underdog that fight. And,
who'd you fight?
Delson Heleno at the time.
Okay.
He was like jiu-jitsu wizard, straight from Brazil. He was on Henzo's team, and he was like 15-0, something big.
Wow.
Looked like a straight diesel yoked, just looked like a yoked, I don't even know.
So he was a top jiu-jitsu guy, like a
he
top
was
guy,
good.
going to try to put
leg
you on your
locks
back.
and all that, yeah. So
And what did you do, keep it standing?
Knock him out first or second round, and it was good. Won
Nice.
the title. Jason High fight knockout and Affliction was great because just how the whole night went, they pushed my fight, and then they were saying, oh, we might pull the fight from the card. You're going to get your show money and whole standby. We're going to try to fit it in, and then I ended up fighting after the main event, and it was crazy because I went out and knocked him out first round. Tyson was in the house still, and everybody was still there, so I was like the main event.
Yeah, it's like you get the main event after the main event.
Thanks,
and that was Fedor and Arlovsky.
That was
in
Fedor
a ring.
Arlovsky. Yeah, in a ring. Yeah, and
Nice.
I got pretty good money that fight. I got a sign.
And the Bellator fight has to be up there as well, kind of. Even though I thought
was
you
good.
won.
Yeah, I won the tournament, and that was memorable because the finals, I went in. They was
Who'd you fight in
so
the
short
finals?
notice. Rick Horn, great judo guy.
Uh-huh.
I brought in Karo Parisian for like 3-4 weeks to help me with my judo, which helped because now I got a good Uchimata. But
you got real good trips.
Yeah, going into that fight, I had a broken nose and concussion, and I remember calling the president at the time was Bjorn, and I'm like, hey, can you give me 2 more weeks? Because I'm a little twisted from the last fight, and he's like, nope, we need this. They were with MTV at the time, and they were on schedule to film. He was like, I can't do nothing. If you can't fight, we're putting in the guy you just beat. So I had like 2 weeks I didn't even spar, nothing. I just stayed sharp with drilling. Went in and won the fight. I felt sharp in the fight. I remember getting hit with something, and the bells were ringing like boom, 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 boom. And I felt everything was shaking just from a jab, but I felt sharp. Other than that, striking was on point. Won that, so that was memorable. And it was a good. Again, when I sat down after my last fight, even though I lost to Woodley, he's the best in the world right now. So what?
Super explosive and just
super
gotcha.
explosive. Yeah, good dude. Even after the fight. But
that's questionable.
Nah, he's a cool dude.
I'm just kidding. He's not a bad guy.
Yeah,
just a little whiny.
Yeah. For me, I was content. You saying moments in my career. For me, I looked at the whole of everything. I traveled the world, man. I've been everywhere in the world from fighting. I mean, places I never thought I'd see. Japan, Australia, Croatia. I mean. I made money to go places and I made money. I lost money, but I met a lot of great friends. I wouldn't have been doing what I'm doing now with the film business. I would have never known I could, I would never thought I could be an actor or fight guy in films and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
amazing that journey that you take and where it takes you.
And I wouldn't change anything.
And that is the best part, I think, about the fight world, is that camaraderie we get.
Yeah.
And the friends that you make along the way. And, of course, everybody staying relatively humble despite being the baddest dudes around.
Yeah.
Without making all that money. It's like, they're just humble people, good people all over this business.
Because we have an outlet, right?
Yeah.
You get in there and you go hard and you get all your aggression out. You're a new man after.
And there's always somebody in there who'll beat you up at some discipline. There's always a better striker, always a better wrestler, always a better jiu-jitsu guy.
You got Ray Selfo, you got Vinny, the jiu-jitsu wizard.
Beast.
I mean, Randy
He's
Couture.
doing great.
Yeah, he's doing great. So
Ray didn't say, "Hey man, come back for this $1 million tournament."
Well, again, first, right after the Woodley fight, again, I didn't announce it right away. I said I felt like that, but I didn't just say, "Oh, I'm done. I'm going film business now. I'm done with fighting." It took me about 8 months to 10 months to really, to get more into the films and see if I could, even make a career out of it, and started learning, putting my energy towards it, just to see if I had the passion for it and did I even want to do it, because fighting was still there. I could have fought and made money. I was waiting for an opportunity even to see if a fire started burning in me to, I had a couple offers, decent money, but nothing like, oh yeah.
Nothing to make you get up.
Yeah, nothing to make me want to go in. And the training was always there. I never stopped training. Yep. Never. The training is not the problem.
When do you think you will? Never.
Yeah, when they
till
pull
my
out,
bones don't work.
Yeah. When they pull out the casket. When I'm done, when I'm whistling Dixie.
Jay's going to be 60 in there piecing dudes up. 60, I could see it.
Just jab, bomb.
Ray's still doing that shit.
Yeah, I'll learn
How old's Ray now?
He's not that old. He's 47.
Yeah, 47.
Yeah. Still sharp.
Still super sharp.
Fast. The jab is crazy. Just, he plays with the jab. He could hit you from anywhere with the jab, let alone his power. But he has one of the fastest jabs I've ever seen.
He's the most controlled big guy that I think I've ever. Of course, I try not to go with guys his size ever. Like, yeah, right, I suck. But he knows how to not hurt you.
He's so great at that. I mean, you could learn just from messing around with him.
He'll let you know he's got you. Oh!
Yeah, it's crazy. And that's like, that's like that Yoda level.
Totally Yoda level.
You know what I mean? I always mess with him because when I take him down, I'm like, I got you. Because he learns from me from my wrestling. And I'm like, yeah, remember that? I'm the Yoda of the wrestling. I play with
your trips are phenomenal.
Yeah, I've been tripping since I was 13 years old, 14. I learned that trip when I was 14, never stopped it. Never stopped, adding to it or
setting up,
different setups and all that. And then I learned judo from, a couple judo guys, the UFC guy that fought UFC. Damn, I'm drawing a blank.
Nick Hine is one I know.
No,
Caro and
the guy who was big in Japan. He had a nice trip.
Japanese guy?
Yeah, Japanese. I forget his name. He was down at the gym. I'm bad right now for not remembering his name.
Older cat, OG?
I think he's done in UFC, but he fought. I think.
Akiyama. Maybe.
Akiyama. No.
He was a judo guy.
Not Akiyama.
You got me wanting to look now.
Yeah. But, he showed me a trip. He caught me with a trip one day.
He's Japanese?
Yeah. He caught me with a trip, and I was like, what? Akiyama. How did you do that? And he showed me that, and I do that all the time now.
Sick. That's awesome.
Yeah, I snatched that. I stole it. That's what it's about, man. You got to, if you see something you like, steal it. Make it your own. Learn it. Learn how to do setups from it. That's what it's about. You know? Do you see my style? You see Ray over there? You see me? It's like, damn, those guys, they look like they fight it. Like, hell yeah.
It's been great for me.
I steal all his shit.
I try to watch.
He showed me that step over cross that I knocked out Jason High with. And at first, he was showing me it. And I'm like, God, this is weird, Ray. I don't know. I don't know about this one, Ray. He's like, trust me. He's a southpaw. This works great on southpaws. I'm doing it. Because
he's always going away from the power. So
and it's just so weird when you start throwing it. Like, even on a pad, you're just stepping over into if I'm a right-handed stance, and then I'm stepping over into a southpaw stance to throw my hook. So it was so weird and awkward. And I'm like, Ray, I don't know about this one. And then we go back and watch tape, him knocking out LeBanner, him knocking out somebody else. I'm like, stepping back into it. He's like, yeah, there's so many setups. I'm like, all right. Started hitting it and sparring a little bit better, gradually getting it. Started hurting dudes with it. I'm like, okay, all right. Fight night, homeboy stepped over, boom, knockout. I'm like, yeah.
Sick.
That's the money shot.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Good times.
Well, throw us any more stories you got. If not, we can call it, man.
Yeah, man, all good. We good.
That's it.
Cool.
Keep an eye out. Go watch Equalizer 2. Still in theaters, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Check out Eureka Vapors. Get yourself one. It's the fire. We're going to be doing some giveaways and stuff. You follow them. You follow Jay. You follow me. And MMA interviews. And
Cool.
we will do a giveaway for one of these puppies.
Later.
Later.